My belly's talking. Hello and welcome to Woolishly. Welcome to what's my second attempt of this. I think this is almost a knitting diary of mine. I published my first video yesterday and I'm slightly terrified of that. I don't know, I'm very torn of, do I hope people, I haven't checked, has anyone seen that video? It's been out there now over 12 hours. And I haven't checked, has anyone watched that video, because I'm too nervous. And why I'm too nervous is, of course you kind of like, I guess, hope someone watched it because you put all that effort in and you know, you try to make it good. But then at the same time, I'm hoping that no one watched it, so then at least I don't need to be thinking like, what did they think of it? So I can't get myself, I can't pull myself together to go and check, has anyone seen the video? Because I don't know what my reaction should be. Should I be delighted if someone watches it, or should I just, like, I don't know, weep in a corner for an hour? But if you watched that video, thank you. I hope you enjoyed it. I guess you maybe did if you are back here. And if you didn't watch the video, I don't know, I guess I'm supposed to say that go and watch it after this one, but it's my first attempt. So if I'm even a little bit better now, let's keep this illusion up. As you might, if you watched the first video, if you didn't, obviously you wouldn't know at all where I filmed the first episode. I didn't film it here. The background in the first video seemed very plain to me, but we don't really have that good filming spots where I would have any light. That's a problem. Like, I could film in few spots, but I wouldn't have any light. So now I just moved. I'm here with a lot of toy trucks and excavators around me. Like, I'm in my boys' toy corner that happens to have extremely pretty curtain. So here I am in the toy corner. I was thinking that should I wait before I do, well, obviously I filmed my first episode already maybe a month back. Then it took me a while to edit that because, well, I'm kind of new to editing. And then it took me much longer while to actually publish the video because it's rather terrifying to put yourself out there and be like, oh, here I am. And as I said, I'm not doing this to be kind of like Mr. Beast or anything. I'm Mr. Beast of knitting. I'm doing this to connect with some other knitters because I see a lot of people having these amazing knitting communities. And as I'm very new to social media, I'm being Instagram, and in general, just like putting myself out there, I don't have to have that group of people that would have any level of energy to listen me talking about my knitting. This is basically the weirdest dating knitting friend video thing that I hope to reach out to similar-minded people with. That's basically what this is. I also just noticed I'm not married at the moment. I'm indeed not divorced. Usually when I'm cooking or like touching any like raw meat, usually chicken, I don't want to have my rings on to do that. And then I take the rings off, and then a week later I remember that, oh, I'm running around like this. I don't know how much my husband appreciates this, but this is how it is. This is how it's been for the 5 years we've been married. Four. He's not going to be happy about this either. 4. Yes, I think so. I was pregnant with the second. Yes. Yes. Okay, back to it. Why I'm filming this video today is that I finished my demon dress. If you watched the first episode, I've been referring now to a few times, and I still don't know, do I even want you to go and watch? I talked there about my demon dress. It's a modified Semper sweater v-neck by the Knit Pearl Girl. I'm making into a dress for my mum for a Christmas gift. The dress, the pattern, they are fine. The yarn, however, is the most horrific thing I've dealt with in probably all of my knitting. I was about to say career. All of my knitting. Knitting. Basically, the problem is that I ordered 16 balls of the yarn, where 2 of them are normal feeling superwash yarn. And 14 of them are, I don't know what they are, but they don't feel like superwash at all. I took 2 of the balls here just to show you. I also can insert again the pictures maybe from the previous video where I show, but this is the kind of bad yarn. This is very, I don't know, it's much kind of like chunkier. The like, is it like spinning, plying of it is very loose, and then I have this that is much thinner, and it also has hair in it. This one is much thinner in comparison. I don't know, can you tell there? And it's also it's kind of like tighter. I've used superwash only I think 2 times, but my educated opinion learned from other videos is superwash is usually softer. That's why people like it. I'm hiding behind these. It's softer, and it can feel plasticky, and it might have this kind of like sheen to it. This has the sheen. This is very soft. This has no sheen. It's not soft, and I'm knitting. Well, I will show it. I'm knitting a Christmas present for my youngest kid in Peer Gynt by Sandnes Garn, which is 100% Norwegian wool, non-superwash. That should by far be rougher feeling than this superwash yarn. This is rougher than Peer Gynt. This is much softer. This is rougher. But as I had so much of this, and I couldn't return it because I ordered this yarn from liqorice. Sorry for any Swedish people watching this and saying that's not how you say it. I think it's Swedish bookstore that sells also a lot of yarn. And as I needed so much of it, and many times the Finnish small little yarn shops might not have that much in stash, I just ordered it from there, but they don't have any return information, nothing in the order you get. So I just had to deal with this. The other thing is, this is the color 71 beige. To me, this is not beige. I took, for comparison, this is Novita Seitsemän veljestä, 7 brothers yarn, and this is in the color sand. But like this is a bit more like beige feel in my eyes. But here you can see how, and even here you can see how this is more purple. This is something between these 2, and this is much more purple than even this. So I just got some rough purple yarn for my beige superwash sweater dress. I guess that's life. But yeah, I showed this to you. Don't judge me. I've done comparison of me knitting with the 4mm needles. This is done in 4mm needles. I'm working, well, I'm gonna show them. I'm working on 2 other projects. One of them is in Cascade 220, non-superwash, and one of them is in Peer Gynt, and they are worked flat because they're cardigans, and they usually my flat knitting tends to have some tension issues. I've been working on it Now I usually use the little bit smaller needle on one side, and I've been able to pretty much fix it. Now and then you can see if I start getting tired, my kind of like grip can start losing, but usually it's rather neat. This is mainly worked in round, and this is, it's, I don't know, can you see? It's very uneven. Like, you could call it a textured knit, just because it's basically having texture to it by default, just because of this yarn. I couldn't. I tried so many things to make this smooth, and no matter what I did, I couldn't have it smooth, because this yarn had also a lot of, like, it's thin, but then it had like this these weird fluffy balls that you couldn't get out of it in it. Like there you can see, for example, one. Can you there? It had these a lot in the yarn as well. It also feels, it's dry in your hands. Like if you touch this, you feel like you need to have hand moisturizer straight away after. But yeah, this is the Semper sweater by the Knit Purl, Semper sweater V-neck by the Knit Purl Girl. Obviously, rather heavily modified to be a dress. This is not how long it should be. My mum hinted very strongly that she would like a woolen knitted dress, and she would like me to make her one for Christmas. So then I agreed to make this for her. We all give only one present for the kind of adults in the family, like Secret Santa thing. So we just agreed that I just give my present this year to my mum. And she decided I said to her that she can decide the color, the length, the width, but then also she can decide the neck, like do you want V-neck, O-neck, boat neck, turtleneck, a mock neck, whatever neck you want, I will make it for you. And you can decide also how you want the sleeves to be fitted. Do you want raglan? Do you want drop shoulder, saddle shoulder? You let me know and I do that. And then I send her some of the patterns I already had in my stash, purchased, and basically said that if you find anything here, just let me know, and then I don't need to buy a new pattern and I can just use the pattern. And she chose this one, and then I just obviously modified this to be longer. She wanted it to be tube. She didn't want any shaping. I asked, like, do you want shaping? No. The only thing I did is just under the arm here, I did the two decreases on both sides, and then where I roughly think the waist would be, I did 2 increases to get it back. You can't really see, but it's like the smallest, tiniest things and then back out. But it's, well, you can't see. This hem bit, I just, because obviously in the normal sweater you would have just rib hem. Here I just did, I did stockinette, then I did purl row. Why purl? Purl is so hard. Purl row, and then I did more stockinette, and then I just sew it down here. And that made the, sorry. That made this sort of hem. I hope she likes this. I'm almost embarrassed to give this to her or to anyone. But at the same time, I wasn't going to buy another 16 balls of yarn given the time frame I had left. Because if I would have ordered it online, it would have been still taking time. And then this probably wouldn't be done by Christmas. And I would have 16 balls of yarn that God knows what you can do with. So I hope blocking this will help a bit. I'm a bit worried to block this. I haven't been making a swatch that I could block to test because I kind of have no option than to block. There's not options. I just leave this as it is. I need to try to get this better somehow. I need to try to make it even a little bit softer because this, maybe I could wear this next to skin, maybe, but I can wear basically anything. You can give me like, I don't know, hedgehog, and I can wear that next to skin. But I need to see. This was knit in 4mm needles. The pattern calls for the pattern calls paw. The pattern calls for 4.5mm needles, but I did this in 4 because usually my cage is rather loose, so I usually go down half a size in the needle size. And also the Karisma calls for 4mm needle anyway, so that's what I did. I've done this once more, the Semper sweater v-neck. The Semper sweater v-neck, I've done once more. Once before. What's happening to my words? I think I should have lunch. But what I did, and this again comes back to my channel's name, I bought yarn from sale. It was some Lana Gato VIP or something. A very soft, very lovely yarn. But they only had so much of it, that's why it was so cheap. I think it was maybe like minus 60% or something. Because they didn't have a lot. I got a yarn, and then I thought what to do with this yarn. And I started doing this, the Semper sweater v-neck. I didn't, however, check, do I have enough yarn to finish this garment? As one would usually do. So when because I'm not, you know, the smallest little fairy on this planet, I usually tend to knit a size large or extra large. But most definitely, I'm not a size extra small or extra small. Where maybe you could have been getting, well, you probably couldn't. But anyhow, I did the body in that, and then I was pretty much out of yarn. Why I kept making it when I can tell that, okay, I'm gonna run out of the yarn before I can even start the sleeves, I don't know. Maybe I was thinking that I will be given this yarn. The problem is, after I ordered the yarn, I haven't been basically able to find the yarn in that shade anymore, anywhere where I could order more from with like reasonable price for posting. So now I'm just trying to figure out what to do with it. Obviously, what I'm gonna do with it is in the Semper sweater v-neck, maybe some sort of like vest or something. That should be enough for. But yeah, this is where my knitting was. Take amount of yarn. Also, this yarn, you can't do it on 4.5. I think I had to knit it on like 3.5mm needles or something. So, yeah, take amount of yarn, take a set of needles you happen to like, and then just knit and see, and usually fail and then have nothing. Apart from, obviously apart from a lot of frogs yarn that is now all over the place. I try to be better. But that's my Semper sweater v-neck by the Knit Pearl Girl for the 10th time, and I hate it. I will, hopefully I put some pictures there where you can see the tension. But yeah, I need to get, I'm gonna travel to my parents in 3 days time. I need to try to weave in the ends, block. You could say that it's not finished as there's still some loose ends and it's not blocked. If I blocked it and then try to sew it to you, well, I wouldn't have time. We are entering entered already the darkest time of the year in Finland. In, I think, like in a week's time or something, it will be the darkest day of the year before it starts getting lighter again. So I'm rather limited with the amount of daylight that my country is able to provide for me at the moment. So I don't have time to do all of that. So we count her as finished and failed object that we will never ever see again because it will leave my house and live elsewhere. Hello, it's me again. Or in the video, I'm probably in the middle of it. I'm sitting on the floor because I couldn't. I tried to get this play corner to just, you know, I just sit here absolutely in the middle of toys. I didn't do any extra arrangements again because it's maybe 2 hours since I filmed the video, and I got everything back. And then I was sitting there on the sofa and I realized that I didn't finish 2 things. I shared the dress, I guess because the dress been so much on my mind for the last weeks that I totally forgot that since I filmed the previous video, I finished another thing. I didn't even show this thing in the first video, but I very briefly talked about it. It was my leftover yarn from the peacock sweater. I had less than 4 bolts left, and I made a Sophie scarf. Sophie shawl, sorry, this is not a scarf. I made a Sophie shawl with a yarn. So this is frinkly. This is quite frinkly, but it's the same yarn as this. This peacock sweater has the 301 from Isager mixed in. This is just the Mayflower New Sky, I think the yarn was. And I said, I think maybe that I'm making the size large, which was lie. This is just, I just measured half of the yarn, and when I reached half of the yarn I just started making decreases, so this is just a size. I've been actually wearing like this as well, kind of like pulling it. If I've been forgetting my hello if I've been forgetting now and then my hat home, because I when I go to work I listen audiobooks, so I have my big headphones on, so not always I take hat because already they keep kind of like my ears warm if it's not cold enough that I need something actually on my head. But yeah, this is my Sophie shawl. When I first saw this, I didn't like these. I think I liked more the rectangular scarves. This is actually brilliant. Like, this is much easier to tuck in your jacket if you don't want them to flop around. It fits. It doesn't make huge bulk because it's much less fabric. And overall, I'm surprised, but I actually really do like this. I did something very wrong with, so I did scale exactly half of my yarn, and I still had rather good amount left, and I don't totally know what happened. Probably maths happened. They are not my wrong or strong suit. Like I'm not very good with maths, so probably I just made a mistake there. It doesn't matter. It's rather small amount left, and most of the yarn is here. Now I've got to sneeze. Everything is a little bit different, but I just wanted to show you quickly. It's not that much to show. You all know this probably already. You've all probably made tens of these. This is my first one. I really liked it. The pattern, I think. I still need to sneeze. The pattern somehow, probably the pattern cost me more than the yarn for this, because I don't know why I did, but I bought the pattern twice. Like, I was thinking, like, this seems very ridiculous that this is so much more expensive than any kind of sweater pattern that Petiteknit has. And then when I started looking into it at some point, I was like, okay, so I guess I just bought 2 of them because it's complicated pattern, so it's good to have a double up. But my Sophie shawl. I'm sorry I forgot it. I will awkwardly put this in middle of the video, and then now you go back to me rambling too long about other stuff. I've done a little bit more to my direction loop sweater by Otherloops, which the little more is this tiny thing, which is called the sleeve of this sweater. It looks very, very tiny and small, but the thing, as I showed in the previous video, is that these sleeves altogether are very extremely tiny and small, because I'm making this in the size extra large, and this is saddle shoulder construction where you have this, like, I don't know, can you see? Yeah, you can see with striping. The stripes here. You do like the panel, and then you start building from that. And after I had done the kind of like the increasing, and I tried this on, just the body part of this came to here, like, well, I have the black shirt, came to here, like to my elbow basically. I was a bit like, well, that's interesting, but yeah, that's why the sleeves are the little ridiculous looking baby sleeves, which reminded me, I'm wearing my peacock sweater on me, on my body, today, which is the lace work sweater I did in black, saying bye to all the rules of don't do anything like this in the color black. And I do like him. But yeah, I started the other sleeve probably halfway there. Hopefully when my Christmas knits are out of the way, this will be done by the end of this year. It's like days work and it's done. But that's the only thing I basically made any progress on my own. Like anything I'm knitting, just, I'm lying. I have one whip there. I also have cat hair. Or mohair. Let's blame the cat. But yeah, why I really haven't been doing that much progress in everything I have at the moment, like in the making for myself, is that obviously my mum asked for the Christmas present to be a dress, and making a dress takes obviously a bit longer time because, well, there's more to do. But then also my kids don't usually ask for, well, my younger one now and then asks, but they don't really like tend to ask that much for me to knit for them. A few times a year maybe they are like, oh, I would like you to do this or that. I can do at some point a little video where I show what I've been knitting for them. Usually now what I knit for them is basically what they ask for. Like my older kid asked for rainbow sweater, so I made him rainbow sweater, like actual just rainbow colored, not like rainbow image or anything, just rainbow colored sweater. But now my older kid is extremely into Star Wars. We don't know why. We are not really, like, I know Star Wars, but it's never been the thing in this household. With probably it's the preschool. But he is very into Star Wars. And then I saw his buttons that came out maybe months ago, where there's like different Star Wars characters as buttons, like Chewbacca, Yoda, Darth Vader, and then there are R2-D2 and 3C. No, you don't crucify me. The golden robot 3CPO, maybe. my son keeps asking these. He's like, "Do you remember the name of the?" No, I don't. I'm lucky to remember my own name or theirs. So yeah, Star Wars is taking a step too far. But yeah, we checked the buttons, and I ordered 4 buttons for him. He first wanted only Darth Vader because he wants to grow up to be Darth Vader. I don't know, should I be worried to some level that, you know, I could have hoped for like Luke Skywalker or Princess Leia, but no, we are Darth Vader all the way. So he first wanted those, but then he saw the robots, and now he wants like bit of a mix. So we have bit of a mix of 4 buttons. And obviously, as it's 4 buttons, I need a cardigan to go with the buttons. And we found the yarn. He wanted it to be black, because black is the color of Darth Vader. And he has some black things, but it's a bit like, well, black seems a little bit boring for a kid. I'm wearing black, but I'm an adult. For very young kid, it seems, in my eyes now and then, be a lot. So I tried to say that, well, if we find anything else that's not just completely black, and we just see. And we found this yarn, and this is the Cascade 220. The first time ever I'm working with, and I like this a lot. Cascade 220 in the color Galaxy. And I was like, well, what would be more fitting for Star Wars themed cardigan than yarn called Galaxy? So it's this, can you see it there? It has like, it's kind of like browny purple. It has like lighter purple bits, and then it has this almost like very deep, winey, purpley color. And then it has a little lighter kind of, then respects the like little fluffs of, I think it's green and yellow, and it's, well, the Galaxy sort of colors. And this is what I've been working on. One sleeve is done now. Here, a sleeve. The body is, it's rolling up, but the body is probably a bit more than half done. And then I'm now working on the other sleeve to see, I got 3 bolts of the Cascade 220, and I'm just basically trying to do the sleeve so I can estimate how much I have left for the body and the button band. This is Petiteknit pattern, the Eva Cardigan Junior. And in Petiteknit patterns, I seem to be left with a lot of extra yarn. And that's why I ordered a bit less than the pattern is calling for. I hope this is enough. I think it should be. Usually even with kids, things I'm making, I seem to use less yarn than Petiteknit is calling for in the patterns. But yeah, this is going to be the Eva Cardigan Junior. I'm hoping to make this cardigan in the adult size in the color black. Hopefully soon. This is a good practice piece. I'm not going to be sharing a lot of the knits I do for my kids. If you're very interested, let me know. I can share them. But the only reason why I'm now basically sharing this is that this is my excuse why I haven't been doing really anything for myself. And then my other child, he's obsessed with the color pink. Like if he sees anything pink, he's just losing his mind. So the theme for his Christmas presents has been, he's into 2 things. Any sort of car and pink. Those are the 2 things. So my husband been taking care of the car side of it, and I've been getting the pink side of it. But he's been asking me to make him a pink cardigan as well. We picked up other buttons. I let him choose the buttons. They don't know these will be in the Christmas present pile for them. I order everything, and then I just haven't been getting back to it anymore. Like I just forgot them. And I've been saying to my older son, who's been now and then asking, like, where's my cardigan? And I've been like, well, you know, I started when the grandma's dress is done. Like I started then. But yeah, for my younger son, who's extremely into pink, I promised, well, okay, you know, let's see if I can write to Santa and ask Santa to bring you a pink cardigan. And his answer was, no, I don't want Santa's pink cardigan. I want you to make it. So I guess I just say that, you know, I make it and then I just send it to Santa. I don't know. We also yesterday went to pick up a Christmas present for me, and we try to kind of keep the Santa thing alive to a certain degree, but we also are open that some of the gifts are coming from us, and some of the Santa's not getting everything. So we went to get pajamas for me, and I just said that I will send them to Santa so Santa can bring them for me. But this little thing, here you can maybe see, here you can see this is worked in flats, obviously, because this is cardigan, but it's rather smooth. It doesn't have, even if it's worked flat, it doesn't have a lot of bumps and clumps compared to that dress. So this is what I mean, this, and this is kind of no trying. This is just, and actually here I just used 4mm on both ends. For some reason now I changed. This is 4mm and this is 3.75. So now I'm purling with a little bit smaller needle. But even then, it looks much neater than the dress. And I'm knitting this basically at the same time. This is the other version of the Eva Cardigan Junior. I thought I will just do the same pattern for both of the boys. I like the look of Eva Cardigan Junior and the adult one as well. And this is the color Shocking Pink by Peer Gynt. By Sandnes Garn. This is the color Shocking Pink in Peer Gynt by Sandnes Garn. I guess would be the proper way of saying that. And yes, this hopefully is pink enough for him. It's very teeny tiny. I have 1.5 weeks. I do think I can finish this. I'm doing this in the size, was it 2 to 3 years? Yes, I think so. Both of my kids are rather slim in their frame, and I usually go down at least one size if I need anything for them, but then I just make them longer, because usually if I make them the size they actually are, they are huge on them because they are slim. So that's what I keep doing. I just go down the size and then just make everything be longer. So this is it. These 2 Eva cardigans are now what I'm focusing on for the next 1.5 weeks. That's why I'm sharing them. If you want to, I can show the end result when I'm done with them. Maybe I show if they are cute and not covered in food, because obviously my kids will be wearing these. And then we have one more thing that I've been actually working on. This is the biggest joke of my life. I went to school in this Finnish town called Kuopio, and I had a little bit extra time there because I had to be staying overnight, and I didn't want to rush to the school. I've never been to that town. I decided I'd just walk. It was 3 kilometers, 2 miles of walk from the town, and I didn't want to kind of take it too close. So I had kind of time on both days before the train, kind of access time so that I don't need to be rushing all over the place. And on the way back, I had when I was going to catch the train to come back home, I had some extra time, and I thought, well, I think I'm following them in Instagram. This store called Cascade Yarns. And I thought, well, I just go in, I just see the yarn. I knew they have Isager and stuff like that. I'm a bit touchy-feely, and then I just walk off. I walk in, and the lovely lady inside is like, "Can I help you?" I'm like, no, I have enough yarn. I'm not here to buy. I'm here to see, because I've seen, this in social media, and it looks lovely, but I'm here to see. You can see where this is going. Yes. I didn't buy any of the kind of how would you call, commercial yarn. But then I came across this, and I didn't know this is what they do. They dye their own yarn. This is Pom Pom Suoma Single in the color Mustikka, which is blueberry in English. And this is all Finnish wool. And they done it very like close proximity to their shop. So this is very, very local yarn. It was like bit less than 13 euros for 150 meters and 50 grams. And you know, well, I like supporting small businesses. I like to support like the people who put their effort in trying to offer these options to people, and I have very hard time passing anything like this. So I didn't pass it, and I bought 2 lots of this one, and then I ordered, oh these are, I have my belly bands here. This is the Isager silk mohair, 75% kid mohair, 25% silk, 25 grams in the color of, I think this was lavender. So this I don't know, this is 100% non-superwash wool. And I ordered this later. I think I ordered this when I ordered the yarn for the Cascade 220. I ordered 3 of these at the same time. And I'm holding this mohair double, and then I'm using 1 strand of this to make, obviously this is not going to be enough for a sweater, as you probably worked out already, but I'm making a little, I'm making a little hat. So I think I have the wrong needle size for, because this is not neat. I don't know, can you see? This is not, obviously it's like 1 by 1 rib, which tends to be not maybe always the neatest thing, but this is big. But at the same time, I think it would look neater if I went up to 4mm needles, because I want this to be dense. That's the problem. I want this to be dense enough to actually keep me warm, because where I live it can get cold, like cold. And if I'm wearing a hat, I need the hat to be keeping my head warm. This is I'm So Mohair, I think. You can find it in Instagram. They have, actually the pattern is free if you just search for I'm So Mohair. It's as image in one post. You can just see what to do. And it's totally free pattern. I think they did this for Novita, the Finnish yarn brand. They have their own patterns as well. I think that was for them maybe. But that's what I'm doing. Very, very, very easy and simple. I hope it would look a bit neater. I'm gonna block it, maybe then it looks a bit neater. But yeah, I like it. I know there's a lot of people knitting, for example, the Oslo hat by Petiteknit, and really it looks nice, but I have a problem with my head that I guess I have to blame my parents. I don't really have a lot of, you know, the curve at the back of your head. And to me, if I wear very tight hat, because I don't kind of have anything to keep it down back here. This is the weirdest thing to explain to anyone, but they just kind of come off. They just go boof, and I keep all the time. I need to be pulling it back down. So what I've learned in my living time on this planet is that very tight hats are not my thing. I can't re-wear them, as well as my head looks like weird egg in. I know a lot of people don't like how they really look wearing a hat, but I'm fighting this by making rather kind of like large chunky hats, so that they don't say I don't look as much an egg. I look more like, I don't know why you look like if you wear enormous hats. But I'm planning, what if I have enough yarn, what my plan is to have this folded double. Is it double, triple? So there's 3 layers here to make it like extra chunky little hat. Then also it should be obviously warm, or too warm. But this is basically like in the evenings I usually knit on the sofa, and I've been saying to my husband, I think my hobbies are the weirdest mix of things. I knit on the sofa, and then before I go to bed I usually play computer games for a little bit, but while I'm playing the games I many times just then have this on my lap and I just knit this while playing. So this is my playing project, and I always usually have next to my computer some very kind of like simple thing I can do. That's everything. I managed to ramble 45 minutes of nothing. I'm getting good at this. I try to be able to go and check if anyone watched their first video, and I try to be able to go and check if there's comments, and if there's comments, I try to be able to read them. And well, if I read them, then it's easy to reply. The hard thing is that I feel rather anxious thinking that I would need to read them. But I'm just very worried they will be ruthless. And I'm not a strong-hearted person to take ruthless comments, so I'm a bit worried. And I think this is a little bit, as I haven't been in social media so much, my skin hasn't toughened up yet, as many people have, and I feel a bit vulnerable. I feel be exposed being out here like this. As I guess many of us do if you do this with your own face. But I try to do that, or if nothing else, I tell my husband to go and check, and if there's someone who tells me to just go and straight up kill myself, I ask him to delete those before I read the remaining ones. I'm open for criticism, and you know I'm using my phone. I know I don't have mic. My lighting is why it is. I live in dark, wintry country at the moment. I understand those things, but you can't comment on those. I don't mean that. I mean the comments of giving me ways to get rid of myself on this planet, which I'm not looking forward to. But yeah, hopefully you enjoyed this. Hopefully I can keep making more of these videos, and I get better and more normal about it, and hopefully one day I can see if anyone watches these videos to know I might just do this for myself, and maybe even read the potential comments. Until that day, enjoy your knitting, and if I manage to post this before Christmas time, enjoy your holidays as well.